Booking appointments through social media DMs is actually quite easy. It's something that I see a lot of people struggle with, but I've been able to book 3 to 5 appointments every single day for the last 18 months or so for my businesses. And in this video, I'm going to show you my exact script, show you how we do this so that you can implement this into your business and hopefully get some similar results. My name is Ben Lister and I help agency owners by documenting my learnings on this YouTube channel that help me to make multi-six figures per year. So as I'm sure you're aware, if you have a social media page that's tied to your business or you put out there that you're an entrepreneur or something like that, people probably will DM you and they will try to get your attention in some way. You probably get this at least a couple of times per day. And so if you're getting it this way, then there's other businesses out there that are also probably getting the same thing. Some niches like home improvement, like real estate, for example, those guys probably get blasted way more than you actually realize. So I reckon there's some guys that get at least 5 or 10 times every single day. And so you might be thinking like it's virtually impossible then to actually stand out in the crowd and actually get some attention here. But it's really not, because 99% of the people that are doing this are missing one key thing here, which I'm going to tell you about. And this key thing is really just extreme personalization. Now, I don't mean saying, you know, hey John, hey Steve, whatever it may be. I mean literally putting a bit of effort in and showing some undeniable proof that you've given at least 30 seconds of your time to dedicate to this person, to ask them, you know, is it okay if I pitch my services to you? Now, there's many ways to do this, but the number one thing that we try is to video yourself, right? And everyone on a smartphone obviously has the selfie camera, and you can video yourself talking or doing something. But one way that we like to do things is to just stick out and do something a little bit crazy. Something that you might consider a scroll stopper if you were doing advertising, for example. And what a scroll stopper is if you're just, you know, scrolling down your Facebook page or you're flicking through different pages, you see something and it makes you stop. And the reason it makes you stop is because it's a little bit different than what you're used to. It's not the generic kind of, you know, video you see. There's no great hook in there. It's something which makes you want to stop and wonder, you know, what is going on here. And the way that we would do this is there's so many different ways to actually do it. But for example, if you are holding your phone as a selfie video, you could literally like bang it off your head and just be like, oh, sorry about that, John, and then just move into your pitch, right? You could do loads of different things. So we've done it before where we are recording a screen on the back camera, for example, and there's something on the screen, like, you know, maybe we type someone's name out or something like that. And then when the video starts, you flip it around to yourself and then you know, talk and you present yourself. And now once we've actually grabbed the attention of this person, they're gonna watch the rest of the video. We can only send, I think it's like 25 or 30 seconds long on certain social medias. So we can only, you know, talk for a few seconds, and obviously the person sees that it's only like 30 seconds long. So they're much more likely to actually watch the end of the video. And then now it becomes about what you actually say in this video. And what I found that works, if you just say something that's open and transparent, if you are trying to sell them a service or a product, if you just come out and say, you know, look, John, I am trying to sell you something here, and then you go onto your pitch, right? This kind of open transparency is something that is really going to help you to actually build a little bit of trust and a little bit of rapport. Maybe you're going to distance yourself from those guys who just message people and say, you know, hey, how's business going? But in reality, they've got some kind of course to sell you or something like that. If we are just straight up about what we're doing here, you're going to build a bit of trust with the prospect. And now the number one thing when it comes to actually building your script is you want to make sure that you use the person's name, the business name, and something that they do, right? So let's say I'm talking to Steve, who is, he does, you know, Steve's Kitchens, and he's a kitchen remodeler, right? You can say, hey Steve, I'm trying to sell you something just for full transparency, but we're working with kitchen remodelers, and I think that Steve's Kitchen Remodeling would be the fantastic fit for us. We're not going to include anything about the offering here, what you actually do just yet. All we want to say is that we can help them in some way, and we have a potential fit based on the research that they've done, or looking at their profile, or just some kind of information that's out there on the internet that you've come across. And then the final part of the script is literally just to ask for them to drop some kind of emoji or just to say yes or something, and you'll explain how it works. But of course, if they don't want to do this, then it's no problem at all. You know, they don't actually have to do this. That gives them the option of, you know, they feel like they have a choice in this situation. It's not like a really strict process, and obviously you're being super friendly. And one thing that I really like to do in a situation like this is if you add some kind of personality to your niche, that's really going to help you to stand out, and it's going to help you to gain some kind of authority in the space, right? Let's say, for example, if you are working with gyms, and instead of just saying, you know, hey John, we're working with gyms, we'd like John's gym to join us, you can say something like, you know, please say yes if you will be interested in this, but we don't work with anyone who can't bench 2 plates, for example, or can't run a sub 30-minute 5K or whatever it may be. Some kind of joke or personality that's added in there that's related to the niche. And if you can do this, it makes you seem a little bit more fun. It makes people actually enjoy the process. They've actually, you know, enjoyed seeing your video, and they've gotten some kind of kick out of, you know, the message that you've sent to them. And it also shows that you're not a complete idiot, right? This works particularly well, especially if you're in like the home improvement space, where the only people that would know about certain home improvement things would be people that actually work in that space. So let's say, for example, one website that everyone talks about in home improvements is Angie's List. And if you say something like, you know, but we don't work with anyone who actually likes to use Angie's List or hasn't had a bad experience with Angie's List, something like that, it just shows that you know a little bit more, and you can instantly add your personality and a little bit of knowledge of the industry in there. Now, once they've said yes, then we want to send them some kind of offer and some kind of proof that we can do this. Now, going into what the offer should be and what the proof should be is a very, very, very big topic, and probably a little bit out of the scope for this video. But generally, you want to have an offer that gives some kind of risk reversal, right? If you say, for example, we can give you 10 new appointments in the next month, then obviously at this point, you want to give them some kind of guarantee that you can do this. If we don't give you 10 new appointments in a month, then you get a full refund. If you don't get 10 new appointments in a month, then there's this, right? And whatever this is, it has to be worth more than the actual appointments, of course, because they could get, you know, 5 appointments and still get a refund, then it's in their interest. The proof that we want to go through is just some basic social proof, work that you've done in the past, or, you know, some kind of case study from a client. If you don't have these yet, you really just want to focus on the offer and make sure the offer is very good. And of course, there's, you know, different incentives that you can throw in there if they are a new client. And so, for example, you can say, you know, we're looking for our first 10 clients, or we're looking to get up towards 10 clients right now. And then there's some kind of incentive there because they're one of the first 10. And so the key to this is that we still want to personalize it. We don't want to send some kind of generic document or something like that. What I like to do is, if you have a document on your phone, or, you know, a notes app page, or just something, you can get Google Drive on your phone, so you can go into Google Docs, and you can have a document on your phone, screen record that as soon as they've said yes, go off on the chat so they see that you're actually using this. And on iPhone, and I'm pretty sure you can do this on Android as well, you can turn on the microphone when you're screen recording, right? And so what you can do in a situation like this is you can turn on the microphone, turn on the screen recording, screen record off from the messaging app, the DMs that you're on now, go towards the document that has your offer, it has your case studies, and just walk them through this, right? If you've talked about something specifically in this conversation, you can mention it. So you can say, you know, hey John, I know that you mentioned, you know, your gym only works with, it's only like a weightlifting gym, for example. Well, this is great because we have this case study here from Steve, and Steve only ran a weightlifting gym, and we got him this result, right? And you're obviously just going through his offer and going through a few testimonials and stuff like that, and it's super personalized. And so you can have this script basically nailed down to the point where you just recite it, and it's very easy to do. But all you want to do is swap in the person's name, the person's business, something specific about them, and then at this point, obviously, you know, this is going to be super personalized, and the person watching this is going to be realizing that you've put quite a bit of effort into this, and it's not just some generic message. And remember, all of this doesn't take a whole lot of time. We're going to spend, you know, 30 seconds doing that first one, 90 seconds doing the second one, and it's very, very easy to get to this point. And of course, not everyone is going to get to that second point. There's going to be a lot of people that ignore the first message, or who say no, or just aren't interested, or something like that. And so it's not going to take a whole lot of your time to do this. And from the results that we've had, doing this, you know, 20 times, 30 times in a day, and having all of these processes laid out, it's only going to take you, you know, an hour or two a day, right? But sending out 1,000 generic messages will probably send you just as much time, if not longer. And the results you're going to get is going to be even worse than just sending, you know, 20 of these super personalized ones that you know are going to be seen and by people that, you know, have a much, much higher chance of actually booking appointments with you. And the last thing we want to do on this second video that we're sending, where we're sending a bit of the offer, a bit of the testimonials, is we want to basically say something at the end, some kind of call to action. You know, if this sounds like a good fit for you, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a link to our Calendly. You can book a call on there, and, you know, we can go through on the call. And of course, when you send the video, you just want to send the Calendly link at the end, and then they can book a call if they want to. There might be some questions at this point, and obviously this is where you go for your objection handling, but it's always good to basically just send it there at the bottom, and so people will just book on without even responding to the message itself. So the big thing about this is you want to track all of this, right? Every time that you send someone a message, you want to add them to some kind of spreadsheet. Every time that someone goes from the first one to the second one, they've said yes, you want to move them along in the spreadsheet. You want to track how many messages you've sent, how many people have said yes, how many people have booked a call, all of this information. The more information you can track, the better. Obviously, if you track every little thing, you know, like for example, what someone has said, and you count down how many times that's been said, maybe that's a bit overboard and it's going to take you a bit too much time to do that. But you want to make sure that you are tracking all this data, because once you have it at this point, you can then start to see some kind of holes in the system, right? Let's say, for example, 50% of people say, yes, it's a great opening message, people love it, it's working really well, but the second message just isn't resonating well. Maybe we need to change something on the document, maybe we need to add some case studies in there, maybe we need to do something in this process that actually increases the booking rate and moving people onto that next stage. And whatever it may be, it's very, very difficult to guess what that would be. And when it comes to anything in marketing, whether this is, advertising for your clients or marketing yourself to get appointments, or, advertising for yourself to get appointments, you want to just test things out, right? The number one thing is to just test something new, see if it works. If it doesn't, after you've given it 100 tries maybe, then move on to the next thing, right? Test something else out. And what you will slowly start to do is once you've tested all these things out, you'll see certain things are working more than others. And when you find something that does work, stick with it, and then you will have a system that is actually generating you quite a lot of appointments, and you're going to get those 3 to 5 appointments that you're looking for every single day. And one big caveat to all of this is consistency. If you are doing, 20 on one day, 5 the next day, 0 the next, 20 the next, it's not going to work out for you. This is a system that really requires follow-up from the prospects. It really requires you to make sure you're doing this every single day, because the number one thing when it comes to any appointment booking strategy, even if your appointment booking strategy is completely terrible, it is, way worse than it should be, you're getting a quarter of the calls that you should be, as long as you stick with it and you actually do enough volume, then you will get there. And this is the case with virtually any system. If you have enough volume in there, the luck and the different variables don't really matter, because you're putting enough volume in there to get the appointments that you're looking for, which means you can sign the amount of clients that you're looking for. And this is really the key with anything. If you just are consistent with your outreach and you actually get it done every single day for months or even years on end, then you will end up with the results that you want. And obviously adding this system in and making it more efficient so that you can get more appointments means that it's going to take you less time to get the amount of appointments that you want. But the number one thing with any system, if you're not actually putting the numbers in, if you're not putting the reps in on a daily basis, then you're just not going to get the kind of appointments that you want. By the way, if you are looking to sign more clients, go ahead and click the first link in the description. We're not asking for anyone's email or phone number. It's literally just a video of me explaining what my company does, but you don't have to click it, of course. If you just want to watch these videos, then that's completely cool. But if you did enjoy the video, then click the like button, comment if you want me to cover anything specifically, and subscribe if you're new around here. Appreciate you watching this one to the end. Cheers.